Hello, my friend. So I wanted to make you a video because your question has multiple answers to it, and they're not just yes or no, as like everything I feel like I talk about here. But they're really going to be food for thought for you. Okay, so maybe aspects that you haven't thought of, but also tapping into your intuition. Okay, so first off, the combination of having low AMH and high natural killer cells is due to cellular health. Your AMH score fluctuates. It goes up with cellular health when it's good, and it goes down with cellular health when it's quote unquote bad. This is a snapshot in time, and your AMH score literally can change within a few months. So they use it because it's right now one of their only markers they think dictates fertility, but it doesn't at all. It's zero. It's a really shitty marker along with your FSH to dictate fertility health, like longevity fertility health, because those test scores go up and down. So they're not set in stone. They don't dictate your future, and they're just a representation of poor cellular health. When you have that added knowledge of having elevated natural killer cells, you really know you're dealing with a truckload of inflammation. Okay, so that's just one thing, and that can absolutely be reversed too. That is not set in stone at all. So, in regards to trying to conceive and you not wanting to miss a cycle, I don't know your whole situation, so uh, I'll say both, okay? If you have never gotten pregnant or are dealing with reoccurring miscarriages or even dealing with secondary infertility, right? The likelihood of knowing that you have high natural killer cells, um, the likelihood of you getting pregnant soon is and staying pregnant is pretty low without all the medical assistance like immune suppressing drugs for many different reasons, but the primary ones are you have so much inflammation going on that your natural killer cells are expressing, hey, we've got all this inflammation going on, attack, attack, attack. Your natural killer cells should only be elevated when you have a cold, when you have cancer, when you have something foreign in your body that came from outside of your body and it's doing its job. When you have elevated natural killer cells consistently, that's an inside job. There's inflammation going on. So a lot of the times what happens is that lots of things are going wonky. Some of your test results are going to be off, but what they can't see, unless you do a full-blown round of IVF and you know your husband's sperm is fine and you've done some other testing and they see the egg quality because the embryo quality, they can't even test the egg quality, right? Which like what just pops into my mind now too is like, no, you have to form the embryo together to test for the sex of the baby too. Okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I don't really like study that side of the fertility journey anymore because it's not necessary in my coaching, right? But right, so the only reason they, as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong on this, is by getting the egg, getting the sperm, seeing how it develops. If the sperm, they know it's fine and the embryo doesn't develop, they'll look at you and go low egg quality. Okay. So with the test results you have right now, it's highly likely that your egg quality is suffering. Okay. So that's going to contribute to the inability of not getting and staying pregnant, regardless of uterine lining, regardless of hormones, regardless of natural killer cells, right? That's just like for my case, like when I started using immune suppressing drugs, those embryos still weren't healthy enough to make it, right? I miscarried 3 embryos technically. My first miscarriage, one got put back in, the second was twins. So, so there's that factor. Okay. So we got to think about the whole body as one. And we really want to dramatically lower that inflammation before any kind of medical assistance, even if we're trying to conceive naturally. I'll put it in the comments below, but I did a podcast or I did a talk. And actually it's in the course as well. It's called Community Support, and it talks about when you possibly might not want to try to conceive. Okay, so this is the ability to get and stay pregnant. Remember, it's not perfection and it's not health. When we are dealing with fertility issues, we're below this line. Okay, I was like here. I was like off the Richter. Could not even get pregnant, even with the assistance of IVF. Like that's how poor my health was overall, affecting my egg quality, affecting my body's ability to let in an embryo, which is a foreign agent, and that's why it attacks it, because that's its job. It cannot tell the difference. When you have a normal or like healthy immune system, your body knows the innate difference between this foreign agent and allows it to stay. When you have an overactive immune system, it attacks everything. Like that's what autoimmune issues are. It will start attacking your thyroid. It will start attacking your gut lining, like everything. Your arthritis, that's like inflammation in your joints, right? When you are doing what you're doing with Inside Dreams, you are coming up from wherever you are. If you're having reoccurring miscarriages, you're just hovering this line. I don't know where you need to be above this line to dramatically reduce your risks of miscarriages. When my clients come to me and they're having reoccurring miscarriages or they're not getting pregnant, I actually ask them to stop trying to conceive. And that you'll see that in the other video. I won't go into that here. For the fact that it is going to take you some time to get from here or even here, you're coming up. But once we get to like this reoccurring miscarriage line, to get to here, like wherever your safety zone is. And I don't know if it's here or here or here. Like, I don't think it's here. It's got to be like somewhere right here, right? Because it's really hard. I know to surrender. And that's why surrender is coming into the course. I am going to teach everyone how to surrender. Surrender is something that I unconsciously did during my fertility journey, but I am absolutely consciously learning how to surrender and practicing it now with the journey I'm on with my dad. Okay. And life in general. Everyone's got to surrender, right? But I can almost guarantee you that it is worth the wait if you pause for a few months to help get you up just a little bit higher. When you have a miscarriage, it doesn't necessarily set you back, but it is emotionally draining. It is physically draining. It might be financially draining if you're using medical assistance. It kind of like for me, when my first miscarriage was my first pregnancy, so it gave me hope, right? I know that's a crazy way of looking at it, but when you hadn't seen a positive pregnancy test and you've had 2 failed IVFs, like it was like hope for me. My second miscarriage was like the end because I wasn't doing any more medical treatment. I didn't know or really have the belief system in me that I could get pregnant naturally. I have to be truly honest when I talk about these things. I didn't have any proof out there. I didn't have anyone like me or like the hundreds of other coaches doing that. But I'm just doing a little recording. What's that? Okay, we'll talk about it when I'm done. And so, sorry, I lost my train of thought. um, it just takes a little time to recover from a miscarriage. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And this is each to your own. Everyone's got their own journey, their own path. I do not judge anyone who does not pause on the trying to conceive journey. I get it. I understand. Okay, so we've covered AMH, we've covered your NK cells, we've covered egg quality, we've covered pausing. When you go in to do this biopsy to see if there's like these natural killer cells in your uterus, I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but you will address that issue the same way that you would address the natural killer cells that you're already diagnosed with. There's no difference. When you are working on whole, complete body health, you are like, quote unquote, fixing everything at once because your body is connected. Now, are there certain things that might need a little bit more TLC? You might see improvements here, but over here, you're not seeing them. Okay, does that just need some more time, or do we need some more tweaks? When you're dealing with elevated natural killer cells, it's your gut health, like almost 100% of the time. And so what's going on with your gut health? You're probably overstressed. You probably haven't been on the right diet. You probably haven't hyper-focused on healing the gut lining. I can't tell you the amount of people that I have spoken to that work with naturopaths, have major gut issues, and don't get the proper support. Within Dreams, not only is there a gut health like 101 in there, but there's like a supplementation too. So you have direct, like step-by-step things to look for, rule out. Once again, we're using our intuition, we're using our discernment. Does that sound like me? Right? I have a one-to-one client right now that had gut health issues. Her GI guy that she started to see, he's like, yeah, it's probably nothing. And I'm sitting there going like, you probably have SIBO. Confirmed SIBO. That's her root cause of her fertility. I'm telling you what, when she heals that, and she's gonna do some more, we're doing work on the emotional side of things, I swear to you, she's gonna get pregnant like that. And we're talking multiple failed IVFs, like remortgaging the house to get to where she is right now. And that's the frustrating part, is like there's the things that you're going to do are going to seem so easy compared to what you just went through. And that's why I was like so mad when I got pregnant naturally. And I was just like, okay, it wasn't easy. It was a process. There was a lot of learning. There was a lot of crying, and it didn't end. Once I got pregnant naturally, my healing journey didn't end. It went straight into motherhood. But thinking about like everything that I went through in the medical system, that I didn't have to go through that, it was easy. It was much easier just to be at home and focus on my joy and my love and my diet and my lifestyle than setting up my whole entire life around appointments and surgeries and blood draws and transfers. So, it's really important that we're radically honest. The next thing that came up for me is that when you're healing your gut, which I think everyone should on the trying to conceive journey. I don't think people realize how important the gut microbiome is to your future child's health. It's important not to get caught up on where you were and where you are now, because that was something that I did. I improved my gut health by just going on a paleo diet. That radically changed so much for me. But it didn't address the autoimmune issue because I was still eating foods that I was highly intolerant to. And also, I didn't focus on healing specifically the gut lining. Now, I didn't have access to the MRT. I didn't have access to the microbiome test that you guys have. I didn't have access to the amazing supplements that are amazing, but not necessary, but can really kick boost, your healing journey in your gut. So it's doable without all of that. It just takes time. You'll need time to do this. So do I think that you should go and get this procedure done? Once again, I will never tell you not to do a procedure. If this is something that feels intuitively right to you, or you just want peace of mind, or you want to know if you have overactive cells in your uterine lining, which, like I said, it actually doesn't matter if you have those right now because what you're doing to help support the high natural killer cells is going to support the cells in the uterine lining. It's all the same. Um, and so I don't think it actually matters if you have to miss a month and do it or do it before ovulation. What matters is, does this feel right to you, or are you doing it because you're trying to be in control and you're trying to grasp and hold, well, if I just find this answer, if I just find that answer. I have another one-to-one client who unfortunately just had another miscarriage after an IVF, and there's some inflammation markers still. And she's like, wants to go out and like get a diagnosis for endometriosis. She wants to go find that diagnosis. And my answer is the same to her. Okay, yeah, follow your intuition. If you need to know that, then find that, but ask yourself bigger questions. Why am I still searching for a diagnosis if I truly believe in this whole health approach, right? We're talking about the same cellular structure, whether it be a uterine lining, a gut health lining. There is, as far as I know, nothing that you can specifically tailor to the uterine lining or to the ovaries to quote unquote fix them or lower the cells. You can take drugs, obviously, but all of that inflammation is coming upstream. So most likely the gut and the stress levels for all of us, right? So ask yourself that. I'm going to leave a meditation down below for big decision making as well. Do this meditation. It's like 10 minutes and it just helps you to get crystal clear on what decisions that you are making. So meditations like this, which are going to become more in the surrender part of the course as I'm building it out. It's you're asking questions and you're actually getting an answer from God. You're getting an answer from your subconscious. You're getting an answer from the universe. You are taking away every single aspect that is in this like physical world, what your doctor's saying, what you think, the time pressure, the money pressure, what your best friend said, what your coach said, like all that. You're taking all that away. You're getting silent with yourself and you're asking those deep questions. If it doesn't necessarily work the first time, once again, it's practice. If this is something that you're new to, getting silent and asking your intuition and feeling into the decision, following your gut instead of like doing the the pros and cons list. Like, what should I do? Like, no, let's get out of our heads, get into our hearts. So we're making empowered decisions moving forward. I'm kind of assuming this biopsy is like through the uterine, so like it's not going to be a major procedure. I'm not sure if we're talking about a hysteroscopy, if that's how you pronounce it. Um, but yeah, so that is my answer for you. I know it's probably like not what you were expecting. Obviously, if you have any questions or concerns, just let me know. I know we are gonna hook up on the August 21st group coaching call, so we can discuss it a little bit more in depth there if you want. But I really truly hope this helps make you this helps to help you make the big decision that is this next kind of step for you. All right, my friend.